Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In today's video we're going to be reviewing Fans Hobby ARCHENEMY, aka RID Scourge, aka Car Robot's Black Convoy, or whatever you want to call him. The figure is masterpiece scaled and it's meant to go into that range. So let's take a look at this figure and see what exactly Fans Hobby has to offer here. First of all, let's take a look at the box. Now I know some people don't care about the boxes that the figures come inside, but personally I do love the boxes, especially if they're Takara. Hasbro on the other hand, not so much. Third party boxes are generally a case of looking either really great or looking really bland, and that's usually done to keep the cost down. This box for the figure however looks absolutely fantastic. We get a big box to begin with, but that's mostly down to Scourge being in masterpiece sized, but still the box is big and it looks great from what you can see. We also get very high quality images on the front, back and side of the box, and as we can also see we've got various modes that Scourge is in on the box itself. We also have Scourge in both vehicle and robot mode and also in various poses showing off what he can do and what he comes with. Inside the box we have his plastic prison and a booklet which also shows how to transform Scourge from vehicle to robot mode and back again. You also got a small warning image stating not to try and open his chest area since that is sealed. Trying to do this will pretty much break the figure. The box is pretty nice and I really like it. I like how all the images are different on each side and how it basically shows off everything about Scourge and all of his character. It just looks really great. Scourge's vehicle mode looks exactly how you would expect it to look, being an update from the RID Car Robots homage. But it does feel a tad lacking, I guess would be the word. It doesn't come with the trailer, and we have to mention that to begin with, and while it is annoying, that's because Fans Hobby have basically sold the figure and the trailer separately. Now, this has been done to separate cost, because some people like myself would get the trailer and essentially just put it into storage. The trailer is nice and all, but if this figure was sold with the trailer, then you would probably be looking at around $200 to $250 for the complete package for this character. So while it is a little upsetting to see Scourge in his vehicle mode without his trailer and just have it as a cab, realistically I can live with it considering the total price for this item, because if I had wanted it as a trailer and the cab, I would have been looking at around $200 to $250. And that's just too rich for my blood. On the plus side however, the cab section itself looks absolutely fantastic and really does make you feel as if you're holding an updated version of RID Scourge. He also transforms pretty much the same way as well, aside from a few odd changes in various places so that he can be more flexible in his updated form. The tyres are also rubber and they can all move freely too, but I did notice that when transformed correctly that Scourge's chest in the centre would still slightly touch the ground a little bit when moving in vehicle mode. So there isn't exactly 100% clearance when it comes to the robot parts and the tyres touching the ground. It's mostly okay, but I did find that the centre of Scourge's chest would touch the ground ever so slightly, and I am pretty sure that I did transform him correctly, but it's just a little warning. It's a great looking vehicle mode, and if I had any complaints about it at all, then it would have to be that there isn't a single place to store the sword anywhere. But again, this does come down to cost, because it is meant to go inside the trailer itself. The only other slight issue that I have with the figure is that the gas tanks are an absolute pain to align correctly, and they just wouldn't go where I wanted them to go. It's doable, it just takes a lot of fighting and fidgeting. Those two little nitpicks I've got aside, it is a great vehicle mode, and really does do the original RID Car Robots toy a great credit. So let's talk about the robot mode. I'm sure as you can tell simply by looking, this thing looks great. Again, it's a brilliant update to the original figure, but now everything just looks that much more amazing. Scourge has had all sorts of improvements over his original toy, such as the shoulder rotation, elbows bend, knees bend, ankle tilts, ab crunch, waist rotation, his head can look up and down and rotate, he has waist rotation, Basically, everything you would expect and hope of a Masterpiece style figure is here in this figure. The paintwork on the figure is also amazingly well done. I cannot express in words just how well this figure stands out, especially when placed next to other Masterpiece figures which I own. His paintwork is very well done and very well applied, and just makes him stand out and look so much more menacing. It's a great figure, but it does have some slight issues. The arms, for example, have a slight problem with clearance when trying to transform the figure, either be it in vehicle mode or robot mode. The point is that when you're trying to move the arms around, he does have a slight problem with clearance, and what usually happens is when you move the shoulder area, they usually end up snagging along the back of the cab or the cab windows, and this is because of the way that the figure is designed. You see, he's designed in such a way so that he can stay true to his original design from the original toy in the way that he transforms. However, in doing this, his big and bulky shoulders, while they can rotate, mostly just end up snagging at the back of the cab. The chest also doesn't open up either, which I have already mentioned previously. The instructions state that you're not meant to try and open these either, because if you do, you could end up snapping the plastic. Now, this was later changed for the G2 Laser Rod Optimus Prime version, and that version does have a chest which does indeed open. Scourge's, however, doesn't, so don't go trying or you'll probably snap the plastic. We now also have to talk about the accessories, or the lack of them. Scourge only comes with his Sword of Fury, and that's it. He doesn't come with his twin blaster gun, or anything else for that matter. It just seems like shortchanging the customers and fans, because while I understand that some stuff does come with the trailer, the G2 version of Optimus Prime, you had the sword, the ion blaster, and the twin blaster gun. So the only way for people like myself who just purchased Scourge as he is, to ever have his twin blaster gun, is to either spend more money on the trailer, or to basically go out and buy G2 Prime and then give him that gun from there. It just seems like a very expensive hobby, and it's quite a lot of money just for Scourge to have his own gun. It's annoying because while I do love the Sword of Fury, and while it does look incredible, Scourge does constantly seem like he's missing something every time I look at the shelf and I look at him, and I know it's because he's missing his gun. It just irks me off, because honestly, I don't see why Fans Hobby made this decision, made this figure, and then gave him his sword, and went, no one will care about his gun not being there. It's like selling Galvatron without his cannon, or selling Predaking without his wings, and thinking people would just be okay with it. Lack of accessories aside, Scourge is a great figure, and he's one of my favourite Masterpiece figures in my collection. He's big, he's bulky, he's got metal, he's got rubber parts, and his paintwork is absolutely fantastic. And unlike other figures that are in the Masterpiece range, such as Masterpiece Megatron for example, if I want to transform Scourge, I can do it in roughly about 5 to 6 minutes, whereas if I have Masterpiece Megatron, I have to tell my wife I'm going to be busy for the next hour, essentially screaming and shouting at a toy as to why Megatron's ab section won't crunch in, nor why his lower section won't move up into position like what the instructions easily claim is meant to happen. It's an amazing figure and one of my favourite Masterpiece characters. I do love RID Scourge, and I do like how he has a sword and it can be held in either the shoulder section or in his backpack. But it really does frustrate me the lack of a gun problem. The trailer I can live without, and in all honesty, I'm actually quite surprised no other third party company has come out, made a gun for Scourge, or any other accessories that are used in the cartoon. I also have to note as well that I couldn't find a proper sized G2 insignia anywhere for his shoulder. I have various stickers, and no matter which one I tried, it would either be too big or too small. So, just another idea for any third party companies out there who may possibly be listening. ARCHENEMY is a brilliant figure, and it's an amazing homage to the RID Scourge character. And if you are a collector of Masterpiece figures, you have to have ARCHENEMY, because he is a great updated version of RID Scourge. While not perfect, he still is a great character, and a worthy place in anyone's collection. Well, that's it for this review guys, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.